Yo, 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 what's good? I watch the Joe Budden podcast honestly all the time, and there's a couple other hip hop podcasts and MMA podcasts and things like that that I watch. Some financial podcasts too. So this is me reacting to the Joe Budden Patreon clip. It just came out June 14th, I believe this is. June 14th at like 8 a.m. or so. It's called What's Your Financial Language? So I thought I should react to that. Let me know if you guys like this kind of video. Let me know if you like these kinds of reactions. Thank you so much for watching, and cue the intro. Okay, so I'm getting ready to play the clip right now. I don't know if this is going to get copyright flagged or anything like that. If it does, I'm going to have to do some edits, maybe pause the video, but definitely go to Joe Budden's Patreon account and sign up for it. I'm signed up honestly at the highest tier. Not everyone's going to do that, but I want all the content and also the podcast that he shows every day, every Monday, every Friday or something like that. The ones that he shows on those days, they're extended by like either 30 minutes, sometimes close to an hour. So if you enjoy the content, go support Joe. But here we go.
I'm done with this nigga.
But no, Ish's question was, can two people, we had a few questions.
It was a question that I saw on Instagram, and it was somebody's in their stories. And I was like, oh shit, it was kind of, intriguing.
Look at you stealing content already.
Yeah. It was
Next time, can you not tell them where you're stealing it from? Like, everybody didn't see it on Instagram.
I guess I'm kind of doing the same thing, but I just want to react to it. So YouTube, fair use.
Like, just
they're not gonna accept
it's fine.
just how we do. It was can people with two different financial mentalities have a successful relationship?
Before he continues, I want to give how I perceived this question when I first heard it. I thought, okay, can two people that live in different financial realms, whether it be one has a lot of money, the other person does not, mental state, one person views money in a different way, so as far as how you spend or what you think is useful to spend on, and if at all it can affect your mind as far as like how you view the other person and their goals, if they don't have goals to continue earning more, to continue trying to do something with themselves to better themselves. Because it is definitely one thing when somebody wants to work, wants to figure out a way to make money, and then when somebody absolutely doesn't want to do that at all, especially in today's age when everything is becoming more fair equivalently for the sexes and things like that. They're not fair yet. I don't think that they're in a position where they're fair for women compared to men, but there are instances where I feel like some people believe that they are owed more or less dependent on their sex. Some guys feel like they owe more, some women believe that they owe more, or that they're owed more. So my personal opinion, I believe two people can succeed if they are in different mental states about finances. But when it comes to goal setting, if the goals are involved in that and you never try to increase your standing, the world and inflation will automatically mean that things are going to become more expensive as you get older, regardless of how much you make. So if you make the same amount every single year, that can be a problem. Also, the mental state of different positions at a job. You can either be a worker, you can work for a company, you can do well for a company, you can be hired as a salary, you can be hired as an hourly wage, or you can be an entrepreneur. And I do think that those two worlds, they think completely different regardless of what pay scale you're at. So if you're at the top of the pay scale in a salaried world, I do not believe you view money and the ways you can access money the same way as an entrepreneur would. So
Does this have to be a romantic relationship?
Yeah, they talking about romance.
Okay.
Like,
I'm keeping it specific.
And how it was worded to me when you said it was
because that is the next
who
speak different financial language.
Different financial languages. Can they work?
I watched this already, so this goes it goes around a little bit. I might skip around. It depends on the topic that they're speaking on. But generally, I would like to say I agree more so with the mindset of, honestly, Ish and Joe. I see why people say he panders. I don't think he's trying to do it on purpose. I think he's just trying to get the point across. Well, you'll see what point he's trying to get across. But Joe and Ish, I think Ish kills this segment. I think he destroys this segment.
Together romantically. And I thought it was a good question because I've been there before.
It depends on
There were some challenges.
the depth. Maybe you speak the same language, but there's different dialects. I think it could still work. Serious.
What is like somebody speaking patois?
Maybe you're both, speak English, but she's got a southern accent, so there's a slight twist on it. But as long as you can communicate.
But what does speak? What does it mean by speak different
financial languages?
So someone who's reckless with money versus someone who is
frivolous versus somebody who's
someone who's an entrepreneur versus someone who is whatever the complete opposite of or doesn't. Because it's not just people that work; people who work and have no interest in entrepreneur
ever not working.
Yeah.
It's a very big difference.
Some people work.
When Ish says it's a very big difference, it's a gigantic difference because. I'll let him continue.
Oh, it's very big. Yeah. It's very, very,
Some
very
people work but understand and want to be a part of some entrepreneurial shit and understand it.
It's frustrating for me.
Yeah. I'm sure.
Like, I'll go first. Most of the women that I've dated, sans maybe one, they had a worker's mentality. And me,
when he says workers mentality, I don't believe he is necessarily dissing the people that do work for companies. I think it's more so he's talking about their mind state of making money. Oh, I need to work this amount of hours at this place. Oh, if I work here for a year, I'll get a quarter raise. I think that's what he means. And I'm young. I'm 25. I've been an entrepreneur for over the past year. Since January of last year, I started selling some homes. I started selling couple months prior to that. It took me a while to get it started, but I started selling houses last year in January. And during coronavirus, like once everything peaked, I kind of stopped. Some personal problems, personal issues, but I know exactly what he means by that, because no matter where I worked, my mentality was never the same. I feel like as the people I was necessarily working next to, not for better or for worse, just I didn't view my time there equal. Like, I feel like there's ways that I can access money in a better and more profitable and in a way that makes me happier than at these places where these people are constantly disrespecting you and people are constantly fighting. There's constantly issues. Everyone only talks about the job. That's never been attractive to me. And I've worked for some pretty big companies in Columbus, Fortune 500 companies, either HR or doing fraud for U.S. Bank, just little things. I've done a couple of jobs, and the more I moved up, the more I had to deal with racism. I don't know how else to put it. I dealt with racism quite often, and just the way people would speak to each other, the disrespect. Everyone was like, "Oh, I could never tell you're unhappy. I could never tell you have any issues, blah blah, because you always come in happy, blah blah blah." Never happy at these places. I'm tired of working with these people that just complain and talk shit about each other. And you have to kiss asses of employers and things like that. It's never been my thing. So I want to create my own path to money. I'm a college graduate. I could work at a couple positions, but it's not attractive to me. The time for the money and seeing how inflation is affecting everything, and just how money is in general. Money is wild. Like when you're 25 and you come from areas that don't have a lot of money, it's not easy. You come from places that don't have a lot of money and you view these people, you look at the area you come from, and then you look at the area of people that have more money, and they say, "Oh, you work harder, you make more money." That's not true. Everyone says work smarter. So just with education, reading more, learning more myself, getting money as my own entity, whether it's in real estate for my business or doing other things that I do to obtain money. It feels better, it's more freeing, and I have more time where I can look at the things I'm interested in. It's hard. It's not easy, and I don't think everyone's just going to jump in the world to do it, but I think that is a huge mentality thing that could affect a relationship. Just the way you view money, how you spend money, your access to money, those kinds of things, or even how much respect you have for a dollar, or how much respect you have for the money coming in. I didn't grow up in a rich area. I grew up in Lorain, Ohio. My mom is from Puerto Rico, wasn't very wealthy. My dad is from Panama, Central America, and obviously very, very, very not wealthy. Unwealthy, lack of money, lived in poverty, whatever verbiage you want to use. That's just what it was. Like, they worked really fucking hard to get to where they're at now. My dad has a great job with Ford. Hard-working job, hard labor job, but it's a good paying job. My mom has a good job. And my mom is also interested in creating things, and she's selling stuff, and I'm trying to support her in her like quest for that. But even her generation, I don't think they necessarily understand the other avenues that you can have to money, even if it seems a little more risky or whatever it may be. The access to money is so much greater if you use it in a wise way. I think it's just smarter. There's a reason why Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, etc. exist in the manner that they do. It's not because they're just workers and they just work. They use their mind. They work hard. Elon Musk, they work hard. They're very intelligent people. But they're not working for anyone.
I've been self-employed for damn near 20 years, right? So that's hard.
It's hard.
Yeah. It's really hard. And you try to lead them. Right, you're trying to lead them. Not just that, you're watching me. So a lot of people, even your guy friends.
When he says lead, he doesn't mean in a misogynistic way. He means lead them as far as, let me show you that there's another way you can make money. You don't have to work like this. You don't have to work and be unhappy here. You could do whatever that makes you happy and make way more money. I think that's what he's trying to say.
A lot of people want to jump off into the entrepreneurial shit, especially real estate shit, and it's kind of scary. I'm gonna keep it a buck. It's kind of scary.
Yeah, it's big money.
What, taking the leap?
Yeah,
Got it.
Yeah.
It's a big investment.
Most people don't do it because of that leap that you initially have to take. Jumping in, I'm not getting this weekly paycheck. I'm not getting this week. Well, now we also have access to different things like DoorDash or the gig delivery or Uber, whatever you want to do. We have access to other things that can make that transition a whole lot easier than when people 20 years ago were doing this. So I think people in my age bracket need to take that into consideration as well. The ease of access to being able to get money without having a legitimate employer. Legally, not illegally.
But when you're dealing with me, I'll hold your hand. Right? The shit that the potholes I fell in or the bumps I hit my head on, I'm not gonna let you hit your head on the same bumps. Right? So
makes no sense.
All of my close friends, I'm always trying to push that. Right? I do it to you.
You do, but let me interject. That could get tricky when you're attempting to do that with your partner, right? Let me speak for me. For that to work, your partner would need to listen to you and trust your vision and some of what you say, right?
The same goes for friendship, by the way.
Yeah, same thing.
I know, but let me finish because this is weird. It's not applicable in friendship. In a relationship, sometimes the man will fuck up romantically, maybe cheat.
So now
the trust is ruined. Even though it's not the trust in the area that you are an expert in.
And when you listen to Joe talk about this, when he says the man could cheat, the woman could cheat too. And what they're not saying is, what if the man is ultra successful? What if the man is not ultra successful necessarily? What if he's on his way to success? He's making more, he's doing better, he's taking care of you, etc. And the other person cheats.
Now she has a hard time trusting you to lead because it's shattered over something that really didn't have nothing to do with
business.
Yeah.
You're asking me to reply to that?
No, I just was throwing that in, right?
And when they're talking about this, they're talking about if he's talking about the position to lead, and they're worried about who's going to lead them if you cheat. If he's talking about from a financial aspect, the only reason I feel like that would happen is if the woman also has access to money. Because regardless of woman, man, doesn't matter what person you are in this equation. But if you have money and you do something like you cheat, which isn't good at all. I don't believe in that. I don't believe you should be doing that. But if it happens, if you go and you cheat, what do you do then? Like mentally. Like I don't know.
Right there.
You're right. I think I'm gonna touch your point, but I think what happens with us most often, especially let me speak for black people first. We don't trust each other, right? So that's the thing in the black community. We don't really trust each other. There's not many of us moving and shaking, so it's like, right? Mm-hmm. But have you heard, I don't know, one of the jokers on TV say it, you subscribe to it. White dude at your job told you, you don't know him. He at your job. They subscribe to it, right? So
it's something I realized too once I got a little older, got to the real world after college. Like, not everyone is going to think like you. Regardless, that's not what I realized. What I realized is, like what he's saying, there's times when somebody will get told something by somebody that they view as intelligent or they view as an authority figure, and they'll just believe whatever they say. I have never been this way, no matter who it is. My parents got me in trouble sometimes, or anyone else. I'm not just going to believe what you say at face value and say that, oh yeah, what you're saying has to be right. Not necessarily. Even if I use that in conversation later, I'm like, oh, this person said this. I know in my head that might not necessarily be true because I'm not the one that researched it. But if I do the research, I'll say it. But of course, I'm human. There's times where I slip up and I don't, and I will quote someone. And I have to reel it in and be like, okay, I didn't know that. I wasn't sure.
I think that dudes in general, regardless of race, kind of don't trust each other unless
the people you know. Maybe
I agree with parts.
Yeah,
maybe.
Like I even know.
But when it's just saying people in the black community don't necessarily trust each other, off rip, that's true. My dad is Panamanian black. If you look at everyone on his side of the family, they are dark skinned. Just like Pop Smoke is Panamanian, my dad's Panamanian. All family from Panama. But I know what he's talking about because you see it. My dad talks about it. All documentaries and stuff talk about it. And also just, if you look into the history of slavery in the country and what these people did, these white people did, and the things that they said, it's all over the writing. They say it all over the place. They don't want black people to trust themselves, brown skin, dark skin, whatever. They don't want them to trust other people of like similar complexion, if it's not the same complexion or whatever it is, to cause dissonance and problems within the communities. And when you're in poverty, it's a whole lot harder to trust people. It's easy when you have a ton of money, you have to trust people with certain monetary value things. It's easy because if you don't get the money back, who cares? You don't need it. It's not the same thing when you're in poverty.
I even know, like, because this isn't the exact same correlation, but trying to talk people through entertainment business shit that maybe you even came up with, trying to explain them how to do it.
Busting my ass on a day-to-day basis, and I'm trying to grow, and I'm trying to progress, and I'm trying to, because again, women out here killing shit.
No doubt.
They are killing shit. No, like, yo, I'm the CTO, I'm the CIO, they got a bunch of letters after their titles, right?
Sure.
And then your dude is just content with being an accountant. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see where that would create a rift in a household.
And I feel like it can create a rift in the opposite direction. I feel like it creates less of a rift because men care a lot less about that. But if the woman isn't doing anything for you, is not helping you at all, is not providing anything for you, is giving you a hard time, is not nice to you, all these things combined with you trying to be an entrepreneur, trying to do better, trying to provide for you and your family, what are you supposed to do? It's hard to handle stuff like that. You, like, if one person is providing all the finances, okay. I don't judge anyone's really like how they set up their relationship, but the other person has to contribute in some kind of way towards that person. It doesn't have to be financial. It could be mental. It could be, oh, I'm gonna clean. It's, oh, I'm gonna cook for you. Or okay, if I don't know how to cook or I don't know how to clean or something, I'll make sure that if I need to go get something or if you need something, I can help you out a little bit. That's it. Some people just want that. Some guys just want that. Girls think that guys want differently. It's not necessarily the case. That's why people like Kevin Samuels are getting so popular, because he really is teaching women how to generally make somebody they're in a relationship happier. He doesn't say it the right way all the time, and I don't agree with everything he says at all, but I see why he's become so popular. If you look at the stuff that he says and you actually listen to him, he's aggressive with some women and some women he's not. When he's giving people ratings, I don't think that's necessarily fair, because his rating isn't going to be the same as somebody else's. Yeah, it could be off by 1 or 2 points, whatever. But when he's telling women that they are or are not this, that's where I'm like, don't agree.
Like, I see it. I get it. I get where, because dudes kind of get complacent. Like, sometimes a lot of us need a kick in the ass to really get moving, right? Let her leave your dumb ass. You done lost weight. You cleaning the house. You doing, what was the movie with Gabrielle Union in them? And my man from
Anyway,
Entourage.
Yeah,
the dude from Entourage was mad lazy. And she left him. Now all of a sudden he getting on his A game. He got a new job. He got a new title. All of that. A lot of times dudes get complacent with where they are in life, right? Until something hits and gives them motivation.
See, I think Ish is trying not to say women also, because I think women get complacent as well. And it's the same kind of thing, to a degree. They get complacent, but then as soon as you're not giving them something, not all women, of course, but as soon as you're not giving someone you're in a relationship with whatever they want, I think it's very easy to get out of that complacency as a man or a woman. So I think what he's saying in today's generation, I think reflects on both sides.
I see where I'm busting my ass and I'm trying to get to the CEO level. You have the potential to do it. You just don't want to do it.
If I got a good girl, it's easy to get complacent.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah,
I hate to say
life,
that.
with everything,
but
with everything.
That sounds horrible.
Yeah, you could be with your girl for a period of time. People might not admit it. You don't even put the same effort into sex. You know what I'm saying? You just be kind of like, all right.
That's a real thing. I think that happens all the time. I think in order to have an additional flair to your relationship, or to make sure that the love is still there, or make sure the fire is still there, you both have to work at that all the time. There's always a fire that should be lit between you two if you guys want to stay in a relationship together. Because for me, like, I'm not huge on marriage, because the idea of marriage does not seem anything beyond a business transaction. With all these rich men and these women splitting, I don't understand I don't understand giving away whatever they negotiate, and it's just okay, and you have to do this for the rest of your life, or for X amount of months, or X amount of years, or whatever. I don't think that's necessarily fair, especially if things are supposed to be getting so fair and modern now. Equal, that's not equal. So I don't like that part. If you love someone, why do you need the wedding? The idea of a wedding is for religion. And what does your love, regardless of if you're religious or not, have to do with religion? And B, it's financial transaction. They still have arranged marriages in a lot of places. So like, arranged marriages used to always be a thing. It's to have powerful families stay powerful, and to have weak people stay typically weak. That's what marriage has been used for before. So I don't understand that. If I love someone, I want to be with someone, I want to be with them. I don't need to necessarily give you a ring. And if you don't agree with that, okay. Not the one. Not the one.
You might pull your A game out every now and again to let her know you get busy still, but you just it's when you first was dating her,
You go crazy.
Oh, you was getting
That's actually a great topic you ran into by mistake.
Like, yo, you was
Let me ask you
busy.
a question real quick. What's wrong with complacency if you happy?
Here you come again.
No, I got.
How Joe feels, that face. That's me, especially since I heard this conversation already. Like, the problem with complacency is the world doesn't get complacent. Don't care how you feel about that. The world doesn't stay the same for you. The world doesn't just stop moving because you want it to. The world keeps moving regardless of how you feel. So complacency just, I know in Joe's mind, and probably Ish too, that's just not really a reality because it doesn't exist. Complacency might exist within yourself, within your feelings and emotions, but as far as the world and as far as the resources you need to continue on, you can't get complacent because you always need more. Always need more.
What?
I hate ice.
Why do you hate me? Like,
because you always want to come with what if?
Where's the excitement?
What if you're happy?
If you happy,
let's
if
get
you're
it
content with it, what the fuck? If you happy and you content with it, why would you like?
If you're content with it, what are you content with, and how long are you content with it? How can you stay content? I don't understand that. You're not the same person every day you wake up. 10 years from now, you're not going to be the same person. So how can you be complacent with something that you used to be complacent with? How does that remain? Something has to change. There's some fire has to be lit. You have to have some kind of goals. The person has to be doing something positive for you.
Like you said, somebody that's comfortable, he just wants to be an accountant. Yeah. If he is living the life he wants to live as an accountant, he's good,
and his wife is good,
then they good. What would make him want to be more than an accountant? If he
doesn't have to be more than an accountant, but if he's making X amount of money every single year for 30 years as an accountant, I do think there is a problem, because in my mind that shows that you're content with never attaining more. You know that there's accountants out there making more than you, but you're content with making the same dollar number every year regardless of inflation or whatever that is. No, I'm not going to be okay with that. You have to have some path to success, whether it's like, okay, you can move up in the company, you can make more because of the company, your salary isn't capped, whatever it is. So it's like there's a lot of nuances to this.
If he's happy in where he's at in life,
nothing. We said, conversely, his girl is out here busting her ass. His girl is chasing a bag, chasing a better life, right? I don't want to work until I'm 60.
Are you implying, out of curiosity, that it's because it's a flip of the quote-unquote traditional, the male is the one running around?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. They just are speaking different financial languages.
Sure.
But that sounds like something that should kind of be established a little early on then.
When he said that, I rolled my eyes because it doesn't make sense. You can't establish what you're going to want in 20 years. You can't establish what you're going to want in 10 years. You're not going to know. You could try to, but that's not going to stay there. It's not going to stay right in that pocket. What if you reach that goal in a year? You're just going to stay there for 4 more years? No. That doesn't make sense to me.
No, I do, but I think that until you get to that level, like again, let's say y'all met at 22. Y'all both just fresh out of college. She go get a job, you go get a job. Right?
Things are different.
Doing accounts payables.
Okay.
By the time you're 28, you're a staff accountant. She did the same path, but she ain't stopped. She assistant VP, senior VP, executive VP. You still at the same level you was.
Look, and to me, it's attractive when a woman can keep pushing like that. I think that's attractive. Women that are goal setters and that try to get somewhere with themselves, that's the most attractive thing. Most attractive. Because you're thinking about longevity, you're thinking about your future, you're not just thinking about the here and now. So that shows me you should be faithful for a relationship. Not all the time, but if you're a goal setter typically, and if you're jumping in a relationship with me and you have money, why would you do that? You're a respectable person I could be with. I don't have to rely on money in any kind of way with you, as far as like, oh, you're gonna demand I give you this. I help out the people I'm with. The people I'm with, if they need me, they got me. But I don't want some gold digger. Throw on that Kanye West.
That's 15 years ago. Some resentment can come.
I see that often.
That's not
in
fair on either
relationships.
side, though.
I see that often in relationships.
But again, she's in love with you. So now I'm not just going to kick you to the curb because I love you. We might even have kids. We might even have a mortgage. We might even now our lives are intertwined and I'm vested here. But I'm still resenting you. Now that cute ass dude that wears the fuck out the suit, smell like in heaven, that's chasing my same goals, he starts to look more attractive to me.
And to jump on and to jump on your ass with part of that point, right? What changes complacency? Circumstance? Life situation?
Yeah,
right?
Life happening.
Okay, so now let's get back to your accountant dude who's
comfortable.
Happy
and comfortable.
That happiness that accountant shit, what level accountant? What's he making? Right? Let's just make up a number.
In New York, he had about 90.
Yeah, let's say 90. That's
all right. He's complacent there. How many kids?
And most people watching this are not going to have 90K. So think about it in terms. He's going to talk about this, but in terms of tax, how much you're paying in tax at 90,000. For sure, paying over 25% tax or so. Just think about that. Just think about how much money that is. Take off 25 in New York. Rent $3,000 a month, $2,500 a month. Maybe okay. Let's say $1,500 a month in New York. 10 months. It's 11,000. What? That's almost a 6-year money. Okay. What other bills do you have with that apartment, house, whatever it is? How much you pay for sub fare, taxi fare, whatever. Think about it. Yes, it sounds like a lot, but it only goes so far, all the time, especially in a place like New York.
And is he still complacent when it's time for them to go to college?
Mm-hmm.
Is he as you age and it's time to retire and it's time to? Is he still complacent when he's not able to go and log whatever amount of hours that brings back to 90,000? Like, is he still?
It might change as he goes on, but again,
and that's where I'm gonna say
and if it changes as it goes on, you can't use that as a marker when you get into a relationship because you don't necessarily know these things, regardless of what is said. Tell me you haven't been in a relationship with someone that's lied to you. Please. Because if you say that, you're all lying.
The problem is when you talk about people who
in other areas. So I was just giving an example. I was just giving an example. Like I'm
gonna skip around because I'm not gonna eat up this entire video. I'm only gonna do a couple minutes here and there because you guys want to watch, you guys gotta go subscribe. Go to Patreon, go to Joe Budden TV or Joe Budden Network, whatever. Let me see. Let's do some respect. Joe Budden Network on Patreon. Go look this up. Here. And join. It's quality stuff.
Anytime you stop striving for better, you might as well die.
I do.
It sounds so intense, but I agree. If I don't have a goal or I don't have something I'm shooting for, I feel empty. What am I doing with myself? So like when he says you should die, I understand the mentality, and I don't come from money. So when I don't come from the best place, and you see people that don't have a lot, it's like, well, you better get off your ass. If you don't get off your ass, you're not going to get nothing.
I think, though, in regard to the initial topic, I think in a lot of cases, in some cases, I guess I should say, opposites attract.
Not if you're ignorant.
In a good way. Like, if you look at all, like, the power couples where both people are super famous and popping.
Don't work. Supporting them. And as soon as they graduate, it's over.
Yeah.
Yeah, my man.
I've seen that, too.
My man's wife went to med school. She got her residency. He had a small fuck up. She was gone. And I think she was looking for the out.
That's what happens. These treaches, as CJ would say. I don't like it. I don't like how it is. Like I heard Kevin Samuels talking about a statistic about how often women leave men in today's age compared to before. So it's like, I'm not saying these women are the ones complaining, but you can't complain that you can't keep a man, can't hold a man, can't be in a relationship with a man and do that. It doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. And why does the man always have to stand by the woman, whatever she's going through, but the woman can't even assist the man?
And the second he gave it to her, she was gone.
Now, the other thing about complacency, though, back to what I was saying, is ignorance can fuel that a lot, too.
Absolutely.
Right? Like, just not knowing.
Not
like,
yes.
Not knowing what's out there.
Back to my watch. I was complacent with this watch until I saw his watch case. Now
you've been wanting to watch for a little while, but I get it.
I know, but I get it. When you see...
If I could get this here like this...
It's way more over there, right? So I'm going to strive to get that over there, and then y'all still chilling, and it's like,
I do think it depends.
It creates a problem.
Okay, he's talking about like if someone is shooting up, like they keep making more, and then they just stop as they get in place. Okay, I'm making enough now. Another person's like, yo, there's a lot more on this side. If you go over there, you make a lot more money, make a lot more this, you get a lot more happiness, a lot more this, a lot more that. That makes a big difference in mentality. It makes a difference in how you think, how you perceive things. Because if you were making this and you're now making this, you just view everything different. The ascension to money, those items that you used to have, all that kind of stuff, you view different. So it changes your mentality and you're growing. You're going up. The other person isn't. They're staying here. So just you're fulfilling your mind. You're filling up your mind. You're fulfilling your dreams. You're filling your aspirations, whatever it may be. Another person just isn't at all. Doesn't care about your ascension either. Makes a difference.
Right? I think it depends what's stated. I think you kind of alluded to it. What's stated at the beginning of the relationship. Like you should probably have at some point. I think it's natural.
Your goals can change.
Sure.
And just like you said, you said someone's goals can change. Someone's goals cannot change.
Yeah.
Someone's goals cannot change. Okay. Let's say your goal is to become an accountant, like they're using $90,000 a year. Okay. Let's say 20 years from now, inflation increases and the price of milk is $7 a gallon. Your goal isn't the same. Your goal can't maintain the same because if it does, you won't have money. So that's just impossible to me. Again, he's making an impossible statement. Some goals cannot change. In 10 years, everything will be different in your life. You might have people in your life that were there. You might not have people in your life that passed or whatever it may be, loved ones. You may lose a limb. You may get a disease. Everything will change your mind. Well, this is ridiculous. Your goals have to change.
I agree, and
that's not and it's not fair to the person whose goals didn't change for you to now hold a resentment towards them.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, no.
And yes, it is. I don't understand this concept of you can't have resentment towards your partner for not growing. What? When you're in first grade and you're in 12th grade, what is that? Does that not mean anything to you? All those years of growth and understanding? Yes, you're a kid and you develop at a different pace. But you're still growing. Are you kidding me? Your goals will change regardless. You have no choice. And if somebody stays stagnant within their life, you can get resentful towards them. That's completely okay. Especially as an adult. It's your choice to decide who you're going to be with. Ridiculous to say otherwise.
Yeah, I disagree. I'm with it.
I'm with Ice on this one.
I disagree.
If
the reason why, I hate to say this, but I think the reason why Parks is okay with this and the reason why Ice is okay with this is because their partners, their respective partners, aren't in the same realm as them. Parks has a partner that works 9 to 5, which he states on this podcast. They're happy. They are happy. How it is. In your mind, you're not just going to come up with how it could be better if you're happy with the structure that you have. So he doesn't know if he would be happier if his woman would have a similar kind of structure as him. And she's still aspiring to do something and she's happy every day and she supports him. All of those things are important. You're not going to grow resentment for somebody that all those things are going on within you or around you, towards you, from that person.
If this is who the accountant, if this is who I was and this is me,
this is what I wanted
changed.
To be.
No. Right. Just because you changed, you can't get mad because I didn't change.
You're right. Watch this. The shit that you was doing at 22 years old, right? Let's just say you was coming home, you went to work, you played PlayStation, you smoke weed. That's who you are. That's who she fell in love with. She was 22 as well. Mm-hmm. I'm growing in life. Mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, socially.
What he means by that is I'm no longer just going to work, coming back, playing video game, going to sleep. Maybe I'm going to work. Maybe I'm having business conversations. Maybe I'm learning how to be a real estate agent. Maybe I'm learning how to do stocks. Maybe I'm learning how to open this business, buy this business, etc. Another person's not changing at all. They're doing the same thing every day. You're allowed to have resentment towards that person. You're in a relationship with that person. They don't have to change, but you don't have to accept that either.
I'm seeing new shit that we didn't know existed at 22.
Okay.
I fell in love with you at 22. Now you're the same guy and I'm not. I do deserve to hold a resentment towards you because you're not growing.
At all.
Not a resentment.
We're in life to grow.
Yes,
not a resentment.
Yes, you do.
Not a resentment.
Not a resentment.
Yes,
you can say, I don't want.
If you're with the person for 10 years, just supporting this person, and they're just like, oh, I'll figure it out, blah, blah. And all of a sudden they're like, nah, there's nothing I want to do. Can't grow resentment? Yeah, you can. Shut up.
Want this anymore because disappointment,
okay.
Fine, but you
maybe
cannot resent. I don't even know about disappointment.
No, you know why? Because now you're not.
Oh, now you're just arguing over words. That person can 100% have a resentment against their partner
for being who they are,
for not growing with you,
for not growing at a rate that you anticipated they would grow at.
It's not even that. It's for not growing. The circumstances that they're all presenting are the one person is growing. Another person is staying 100% stagnant.
No, that's on you to set that anticipation. You can't.
Every resentment is on the person. Nobody is placing blame. A resentment is on the person growing the resentment.
I agree.
But to say that person can't have one, that's not true.
I don't think it's a justified
off the
resentment.
Ish example, because Ish was just naming hobbies. Hey, you 22, you playing a video game, you like eating chips.
No, we getting a bigger house. We got kids now.
22, you 22 years old. You a rapper. You want to rap. You are an inspiring rapper. You meet her. That shit sound fly to her at 22.
Okay.
At 25, you still an aspiring rapper. She moving up in the ranks. Her job, whatever her job is. At 28, you still an aspiring rapper, seeing small steps of progress. Maybe your audience is getting up, the songs are sounding better, but no metric where corporate lady can gauge.
Okay.
Right? You don't think resentment is growing. Y'all been together 8 years and you still an aspiring rapper. Your goal is exactly the same. It has not.
And that happens all the time. It's not necessarily with rap, but I'm going to open my business. Or I'm going to become rich off of this. Or I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Yeah.
Change.
All the time.
You met me, I wanted to do this. It takes a long time. I wish you would ride, but you won't. But you think she don't have the right to have a resentment?
No,
hey, nigga, when you go? No, I ain't signed up for that.
This is who I was. This is who I was. If I didn't make it and I'm still chasing my dream.
I'm not talking about who you are. I'm talking about what you doing.
No. If you ain't make it, let him in. If you ain't make it,
he didn't make it. He's still chasing his dream.
When do you now concede
that's on that person?
Let me
finish.
Know.
You sound nuts.
You do.
You sound nuts.
Not nuts, but a little.
That's an extreme case to me.
Immature.
Low unrealistic.
No, that's not extreme.
Very immature.
There are a lot.
It's very hard to make it as a rapper. It's not as hard to make it as an accountant.
It's very hard to make it as a musician, period, or any sort of artist. Right. You could.
I think they're all kind of warped because even when it comes to an accountant, there's a lot of accountants in general, but it's not going to be the easiest to make it at that for some people too. Some people just have a harder time doing certain things.
Be a writer, you could be a visual artist.
Get rapper out of here. She 22, you 22, you a stock boy. One day you hoping to make it to the floor and sell some electronics. But there's a waiting list for that. There's a waiting list for that. 2 years,
PC Richard ain't popping.
Hey, let's get to it. 3 years done went by. You still in stock. She rising up. Hey, they picked Joel to come from stock and sell TVs. He killing now. Commission mad Samsung's out the door. You don't think she could have a resentment that you a stock boy or you stuck anywhere
and you're not trying to progress?
That's all I'm saying.
But see, that's what. That's
and you
where
happy.
That's where you losing me.
Wait, hold on. Let me take my
shit
shit off. The resentment comes, like it said. The resentment comes. Wait, nigga, you happy with this? You not trying to do nothing different?
Why aren't you trying to do more?
Hey fam,
like why aren't you attempting to do more at all? That is literally where the resentment comes from. He's so right about this. Like,
keep eating leftover 2 pieces Kennedy fried. We are piecing rocks together. And you cool? I think that's very common, Park.
But that's still an extreme.
No, it's not. I think it's common in relationships.
It is common because if one person is on the ascension, the other person is on a stagnation. What are you gonna do? Doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. If you see somebody completely stagnant, they're not doing anything. It's a killer to me. It's a killer to me. Like, this is why my surroundings are different right now. It's a killer. You can't be treated wrong, unsupported, talked down to, cheated on, and all this stuff happened. You don't play games with me. There's some people out there that will accept it. No, I don't care. I'll be single. I'll get my bag. I will get my bag. Figure out what I gotta figure out.
If your partner is making you eat leftovers every day because they're not doing
if your partner
well,
she wasn't eating leftovers, but if someone's making you eat leftovers every day, there's a problem, man or woman.
Is not excelling at a rate that you would like,
because now you're taking on more bills.
See, he's talking about it from a very like a self-centered way. I don't even think it's about that. Like, from when I was young, my parents always taught me about try to find someone that has goals. They don't have to be the same goals, but you're on the ascension to something. There's something that you want to do with your life. There's nothing you want to do with your life. I'm not saying, oh, you have to figure out right now. You don't have to have that path set, but you can have a rough draft.
That's just crazy to me to say your partner not excelling at a rate that you would like them to be excelling at. That part is crazy.
Why is that crazy? Your partner's stagnant. Your partner's stagnant, and they don't want anything better. They're stagnant. They're content with where they are. Like y'all said to me the other day, inflation is growing not at the rate of salaries. So shit costs more. It costs more than it was 10 years ago. A Honda Accord is 40-something grand. Nigga, when we was kids, you could got a Lexus Coupe for 40-something grand, and you was the man, right? So now Hondas cost 40-something grand. You still the same place. You don't want nothing better. I want a bigger house. We going to corporate functions, and my coworkers got nice houses. Their kids go to better schools. They doing all of this shit.
I think
I can't put our kids in private school. That's not even an option.
No, we can't move to a better neighborhood where they can even go to public school.
See, these are still extreme examples. I think if your partner is not allowing you to live a comfortable life,
you're comfortable at 25. You're not comfortable at 35.
All right, no doubt. That's a different thing. Let's be more realistic.
I'm addressing ICE, though. I'm addressing ICE.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
And comfort does not only equate to finances. They're speaking on finances. It's not only about finances. Comfort can also be just the environment that you're in. It could be a clean home. It could be the energy that person gives out to you. If the person has a hard time, how do they deal with it, and how do they bring that to you? How do they present that to you? How do they handle you having a hard time? Are they understanding? All of that stuff is important.
Yeah, because I said, he don't think it's nothing wrong with it.
We keep being unrealistic, and I don't see that.
No, it's just extreme. If your partner is making you live in poverty, yes, you should probably get away from
poverty. It don't have to be poverty.
And it's frustrating to me when they say this because 50% of America is making $30,000 or less. So they give a $90,000 example. It's like 5% of people are making over $100,000. It's unfair. It's just an unfair example. Living in poverty is honestly a stronger and more common example than somebody making $90,000 a year.
Mediocrity.
But near you're eating leftovers every night. He's still a stock boy at PC Richards.
That's poverty.
No disrespect to the stock boys at PC Richards.
No.
But can we use a more...
Your girl is striving.
Like using excellence.
That's what I was... And your girl's a CEO? That's a huge fucking...
No. Your girl is striving for excellence.
Hold up for a minute.
Can we find something that's a little bit closer?
You are subjected, and you are having
said it earlier.
mediocrity.
If you make 90 grand in New York after taxes, you bringing home what?
40 something.
Let me help y'all. Let me put it to y'all like this. Newsflash. It's athlete niggas having a hard time keeping their woman or whatever with all the money in the world. Mm-hmm. It was memes going around talking about the billionaires is losing their wives. It's funny, but
funny.
saying is there is.
Now, if you're just not growing in any area whatsoever, I can absolutely see why you would have resentment towards that person.
Tons of resentment.
Absolutely. Ish was first.
Dogs. You just added a child,
Uh-huh.
which changes the financial burden on the family.
If you add a child and the financial burden is changed, you cannot just suddenly be like, oh, well, my goals haven't changed. Nice.
Uh-huh.
If you still making the same amount of money that you was making 10 years ago, I'm tight. If I'm the woman.
And if I'm the man, you got to support me. If I'm making this money for you and for us, you got to support me in some kind of way. You got to be nice to me. You got to do something in the house. You got to help me out. You got to try to look good sometimes. Meaning, got to shave and stuff sometimes. You don't got to put on all this makeup and all this stuff. It'd be nice if you do it once in a while. That'd be cool, yeah.
In other areas.
Uh-huh.
You're stagnant in the only one that matters to me.
Kilter. Well, that's an issue.
Kilter.
But how would you...
Now, leave that person. Especially if you bump into somebody
that's
who...
happy-go-lucky,
their
they're
spirit
encouraging.
is illuminating.
Yes.
Yeah, now it gets tricky. So it's all the same. We're talking about being stagnant.
Good people are greater than good finances when it comes to a relationship to me. I'd rather be with a good woman than somebody that has a ton of money. I don't care about the money necessarily. I feel like a lot of women say that, but then if you look at them in practice and in theory, how the hell are these 20-year-old women falling in love with these 50-year-old men? What do you possibly have in common? What do you possibly do together?
If your spirit's low because you're busting your ass to get to the...
Not saying all of them, but it wouldn't happen in the exponential form it does.
Bag.
It still's a conversation.
I know.
What I'm saying
I
is
lost my whole family because my fucking spirit was low chasing the bed. That's what happens to men. That men they don't have compassion for us as we're out working.
No shit.
No.
Nope.
If you're not making me happy the second you walk in this door, if I'm not fulfilled in all of the areas that I need,
now.
then nigga, what the fuck do you know?
You gave up that grass in your diet with the sugar?
And that's what we say. But baby, we said we wanted millions. We said we wanted to buy a house.
And it's crazy because Joe's only talking about the money. He's not talking about how he feels. Look at his face. He's in distress. He's serious about this. If the man only has to provide and make you feel good, what does the man get out of that relationship? What does that partner get? Woman, man, anything.
Said we was going to do this. We said we was going to do that. Yeah, but it looked different when it's in motion, nigga. I ain't really feeling what I thought I would feel when it came.
Or they didn't know what comes along with what you're doing.
I was just talking. I wasn't ready. Now that you're showing me, now that the sauce is here, no. Yeah. No. I need a different sauce. Yeah. That's not working.
I need you to be rich and home.
Time and money.
Yeah. No, for real.
Gotta have both. And so you can't have both.
Yeah.
To answer your question about other shit, take the money out. We were both 25. Your morals were here. Your emotional maturity was here. I'm 35 now. You still have the same emotional maturity you had at 25.
That's an issue.
I accepted it at 25.
That's an issue.
I fell in love with you at 25, but now I'm 35. You should be thinking differently.
Parks, the question isn't whether all...
And that, to me, is the absolute most important thing in a relationship. If you're in a relationship because you love someone, not for the finances, of course. It's, okay, well, if you changed and I didn't, what do we have here? Or if I changed and you didn't, what do we have here? I'm a different man, or you're a different woman. So the love is different, the feelings are different, all that stuff. It's easy to have a good time. It's hard to be in a successful, positive, and growing relationship, period.
These things are issues. The question is, can this person have a resentment towards these issues? And the answer is yes.
Can the relationship work?
Yeah. And the answer is yes. I can resent all of these things about my partner. That's it.
And when you take it on finances,
I agree with that part. It was
needs.
No doubt.
And the girl accepted that.
No doubt.
So now when you stop and you like, yo, I'm good. And she's still ascending and she's looking for trips now. She's in a place where she can take 3-4 trips a year. You not. I'm tight because I'm looking on Instagram and all my girlfriends and Barbara and Keisha and Tammy and them just came from St. Bart's and they went to Turks and then they went to Ireland and they went to Greece and I can't go, nigga, because you only get 7 days a week. 7 days a year for vacation time.
Right. You bought it now.
You're impending on my life and the quality of my life. And I'm busting my ass out here to create a better life and you not meeting me halfway.
And it's feeling
I'm definitely resentful.
It's feeling like jail in
you
the
need
house
to leave.
now.
I know.
It's feeling like
but
jail
now we got
in the
kids.
crib.
No, but now we got kids. So the selfish thing to say is you need to leave as opposed to I'm going to work better to meet
that's
you.
immature.
Yeah.
That's immature.
Yes, that.
And if anyone's watching this deep end, that is the biggest thing that I've always tried to say within my last partnership. Like, you got to meet me. You got to meet me somewhere. I'm trying so hard. I'm taking care of you. I keep doing all this stuff. What are you going to do for me, though? Like, not what are you going to do for me, but how are you going to assist me? I'm killing myself doing this. I'm unhappy all the time doing this. Can't stay this way. So I got to go.
Fam, so what do you do in that situation?
You
stay
get
and make
your
the house?
fucking ass off the bed and start trying to look for a better job.
Make yourself a better person.
What I'm trying to say is, whichever the person is who's up here, okay? We're not going to say man or woman.
Guy or girl, don't matter. It don't matter.
Yeah. Whoever's up here, if you want this person who's down here to get up, like you said, get off your ass, get a better job, do better, and they are not, you have two choices.
You come to a crossroads.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying.
I agree
you either put up with it and accept it for what it is, or you leave.
But you didn't say that. You said it.
I'm not putting up with it if they have nothing that they're offering me. I'll put up with it if you're offering me happiness, if you're offering me love, if you're offering me positivity, if you're offering me a meal, if you're cleaning, if you're assisting me, if you're just making me happy. I could do the rest of the stuff by myself. But you gotta do something, or I gotta go. I can't live a full life of unhappiness. It's never gonna happen. Never gonna be with somebody that way. I'd rather be single and unhappy. If I'm single and unhappy, I could do whatever I want. I could figure out what I want, get whatever bag I want.
Like, well, just leave. Man.
No, I'm saying,
and that's not true.
No,
all right, so
that's not true.
So what's the options then?
Well, that's the question. Because in a relationship, that's always the question. We're going to always get to the point of, hey, I feel like this and you feel like that. It's black and white. It's time to take a shit or get off the toilet. But then you get into the compromise, happy medium part of relationships.
Yep.
Did I exhaust all options?
Yep. And that has to be there. If you're with someone and you're the only one trying, I'm telling you right now, give up. Stop. Doesn't matter. They don't care. They don't care, so why do you care? Like you said, get off the toilet.
Hey, doing that is where we talked about it before, is where I fucked up my postpartum shit. Doing that. Yo, are we happy or no? Because I'm busy. Nah, not when you in it with somebody.
Can't do that. That's what he's saying. He's admitting here you can't do that. You got to compromise. You got to try. But if you're the only person to compromise over and over again, cut your losses and get out. Kid, family, house, whatever it is, you got to do it. Because it's not going to end well for you. Not going to end well for the other person. Not going to figure it out. If the person doesn't respect you, leave. If the person doesn't make you happy or doesn't try to, leave. Because that's probably not going to change for the better. Probably not.
Like, maybe if you just on some casual cavalier shit, if you in it with somebody.
If you're just in it, it's easier.
And
children are now present.
Yeah.
Mortgages are now present.
I'm agreeing with you.
But
What
what
I'm
is in our
it's
names
not
together.
It's not as easy.
Oh, you won't.
That's all I was saying.
Is it fair for them to hold resentment?
If they
things before you get to, yo, I can't anymore. If you're in a relationship, is all I'm saying.
Yo, I can't really fuck with a man that makes 40 grand because we in a different space. Right? Like,
okay. Well, I am going to end the video here. If you guys like the video, I know it's a little long, but I kind of want to do a deep dive on this. Didn't think I would take this long, though. If you guys like the video, like, comment, subscribe. Hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.